Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to another edition of Defining Moments. I'm your host, Larry Nix, and I am so excited to have you join us. I am privileged, and I need to let you know that because I know that for those of you that listen and even live stream us, I know that you do it intentionally. I know that you're very busy. You have many things that you could be doing and very important things, but for the fact that for the fact that you're joining us, I just want to let you know I really appreciate you. I'm going to take a quick station break. We're having some technical difficulties. We'll be back in just a minute on Defining Moments. Take a station break. Go to commercial break.
How do I do that? I don't know what to do.
Be patient with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Take a deep breath.
I'm believing it is the first time I'm doing this on my own.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
You'll be all right.
There we go.
You good?
Yeah, we're good. We're on break now. I figured it out. I mean, geez.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I got a plan on break now. What's wrong?
It's okay.
I had to put him on station break. I don't know what to do.
It's okay. It's okay. We have a new board operator, and he's doing a great job. And we appreciate him. And one thing about technology, and one thing about a lot of parts, you just
do it.
You just do it. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my program because this guest that I have today, and I know why the enemy is working against this, because the objective of Defining Moments is to encourage you, is to inspire, and is to challenge you to live your best. Okay, that was one of my sponsors, Crossgate.
Yeah.
We're going to get it together, ladies and gentlemen.
You go ahead.
We're going to get it together. Listen, I'm delighted to have, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce my guest because she has a lot to share. And even if I have to get her back, I know you'll be happy to come back, right?
Yes.
Listen, Dr. Zanzi McLaurin. Dr. Zanzi McLaurin, she's an empowerment mindset strategist and coach. Dr. McLaurin is a high-performance empowerment mindset strategist, thought leader, educator, and coach that has been sharing strategies and messages of motivation and leadership for more than 25 years by helping individuals and entrepreneurs maximize success in their life, career, and business. She believes that everyone has a purpose in life and a unique calling to share with others. She says when both are intertwined with serving, great things happen. She also says life is full of adversity. Yes. Boy, isn't that an understatement for right now?
Today,
yeah, but that's all right. But you said, but there's a however, there's like a conjunction.
Yes.
But prepare each day to forge ahead and celebrate the successes along with your journey. Dr. Zanzi McLaurin holds a doctoral degree of health administration from the University of Mississippi Medical Center, a Master of Public Health degree from Wharton University, and a Bachelor of Health Services Administration degree from Baker University. Most recently, she and her husband, Tony, have become the newly minted owners and executive producer of MPC Mississippi Championship, celebrating their 41st year of competition this year on July 16th. And if that's not enough to fill up her day, week, month, and year, I say, she is the host of Powerful Purpose, the Dr. Zanzi McLaurin podcast, as well as, along with her husband, Tony, they both host the MPC Mississippi podcast. Dr. Zanzi, well, I tell you what, we're off to a rough start, but that's okay. The key is you have to forge ahead, don't you?
Absolutely. And guess what? I like things like
Yeah.
You get those little pricks and bumps and
Yeah.
bumps that you have to go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
It just makes you stronger.
Well, you know
and
what?
you learn how to navigate.
Well, you know what I have learned in my own life, I have learned that those times, those seasons that I go through, um, challenges,
Yes.
that it makes me better
Yes.
because I find out where the breaches are. I find out where the weak spots are. I find out even the things that I need to work on myself.
Absolutely.
You got two choices. The choice is you can be frustrated, throw your hands up and say, forget it. Or you can say, you know what, my purpose is too important. Let me find out what I need to work on. Because if God trusts me enough to wake me up this morning,
Absolutely.
to put breath in my body, sight in my eyes, listening in my ears, mobility in my body, then I got to figure this thing out. Because if I lay down and die, the enemy loses. I see that several of you have been texting me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're working through it. Listen, we got the chief engineer here. Put him on blast. He actually built this station, so he's in the seat right now. And if anything can be remedied when you're flying over the Atlantic Ocean in the 747, Frank can do it.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
talking about.
So Frank is here and he's in the seat right now. So Dr. Zanzi, welcome again to Defining Moment.
Well, look, Larry, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. It is such an honor and a privilege to be on your show. You and I have known each other for a very short time, but it seems as if it has been a season.
Well, I tell you what, I have been blessed. We've known one another for a short period of time and found out just last weekend that we have mutual, a mutual connection. I remind people it's a big, small world,
It's a big, small
and God created us to be interwoven. No Madison Island, all right. God created us to cohabitate, and we're better together more than we are apart.
You say we're better together?
Yeah.
I say we're stronger together.
We're stronger together.
And we become more elastic in some things.
Right.
And then in some things we become more focused.
Yeah.
When we can do it together. And I want to just piggyback on what you said about the technical difficulties that we may be having.
Right.
My motto to any hiccup or failure is I don't like to use the word failure.
Yeah.
I like to say they are opportunities.
Yeah.
So what opportunity do we have now
Yeah.
to deal with these tough technical difficulties
Yeah.
that we're dealing with?
Yeah.
We're just going to keep on forging
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about it is, Frank, and I'm putting him on blast again, he built this station
Yes.
because he had a vision for
Yes.
God to use him. And then he just refurbished the station,
It's amazing. It's
within the
beautiful.
last. So you can become frustrated. You know what? I've shared this even with my son.
What am I frustrated
Growth, in order to grow, friction creates movement.
Mm.
It also generates heat.
Yeah, it generates heat.
Okay, Frank, that's good. That's good. And
Frank,
fire does
are you live?
I am.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I was going to say because that was good, Frank.
It generates heat too.
Yeah. So you're listening
means
to the
pressure.
director of the
Which
station.
generates pressure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we don't want pressure, do we, Frank? We don't want friction, but friction can actually be good.
Heat makes us burn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the only way you can be gold is if you're smelted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
so
you
good.
have to be pressed.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And you have, once you come out the other end, you're pure.
It doesn't feel
Absolutely.
good.
It
But it's-
never
but-
feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. Being burned, being pressed on, it doesn't feel good.
No. And I didn't mean to jump in here, but since you're
But I'm glad you did.
blast,
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad you
I
did.
love this, and I love that metaphor, Frank,
We-
because when you can be pressed and have a little friction and a little heat to it, guess what you're doing? You're being molded
you are.
and you're being refined.
Yes.
So if you stay stuck
Mhm.
under the oppression of the challenge, you're not growing.
Yeah.
No.
But when you choose to say, I can, I will, I am, which is my 3 core affirmation that I say every morning, I can, I will, and I am. And I add things behind that every day.
Yeah. 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 So Frank, let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Like now, okay. Technically speaking, man, there's so many components. There's so many wires. There's so many buttons, and at any moment, things can go just haywire as they are.
We call it going south.
Yeah. but I noticed you. I've noticed you in the last minute and a half. You're not freaking out. You are very focused
And calm.
and you're attentive to the problem.
I'm very
Okay.
calm too.
As to say, I know there's a solution. Let me just work on it as quickly as possible because we can't land the airplane because we're in flight over the Atlantic Ocean.
That's a whole other show, Larry. We don't have enough time to talk about that.
I'm about to get you on my program.
That's a whole other show.
But
I mean,
it's
that's.
his calmness, and that calmness comes from peace.
I'll share this.
Okay.
I'll share this, and because we're fixing to have to go to break, but I'll share this. Young boy, me,
Mhm.
Rudyard Kipling, The Point If. If you haven't read it, if you don't know of it, go read it.
Mhm.
I preached it to my kids.
Right.
Second thing, I've been doing this a long time.
Right.
And yes, I've been under pressure, but the only reason why we have all of this here is because Jesus wants it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so we build this because he wants it built. I'm the
Yeah.
tool that gets to use it.
Yeah.
So I just have to sit down and just think to myself, okay, wait a second. We have the stuff. I know how to do it because God has given me the ability.
Yeah.
And
And
so
you know
that's-
what? And you know
and
what
that's
I've
where-
said.
That's where that, that's where that is.
And you know what I've said? I've said that the enemy is just not going to let you
No. It's not.
just take over.
So-
Absolutely not.
So
He's gonna fight you.
on that note, take us to break real quick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. More defining moments with my friend, my guest, Dr. Zanzi McLaurin. We'll be back.
All right, so now we're going to go back to automatic.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to go back to auto. So it'll kick him back in. So if you're seeing your screen, we're back on auto over
Right.
here.
Okay.
So all I did was put him on program 2.
Okay.
That's all I did.
Okay.
But you could just
Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. This topic is so important. I said to myself when I blasted out, I said, how important is it for your purpose? I want to let you know that you are here not by accident. You're not here by incident. You are here by divine purpose. And let me tell you something. That is so powerful of a word that the enemy is doing everything up until the second. He's doing everything to keep you from being blessed today. I know you are. Listen, I've been in this fight a long time. I've been in this battle a long time. And when I see things crop up like this, I know that a pure word is coming out, a word of encouragement to motivate you, because there's some of you who feel like giving up. There's some of you who feel like throwing in the towel. There's some of you that feel like God is mad at you, or that your life is over, or you're too old. We're going to straighten that out. You listen, you just come a little closer, and you're going to be blessed today. I know you are. Welcome back to Defining Moments. I'm with Dr. Zanzi McLaurin. Dr. McLaurin, I just want to get right into it. I don't want to mismanage our time. Certainly your academic bandwidth, and your resume is stellar. It is very impressive. But then it is almost as if you introduced another part of you to the community, and that is that positive affirmation coaching part of you. I want you to talk about, introduce to people to Zanzi. You affectionately, you like to be referred to as Dr. Zanzi.
Or Dr. Z.
Or Dr. Z.
Or Zanzi.
A Zanzi. Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I try not to let my academics define who I am.
Yeah.
I'm defined by the design of God. And God has put such power in me. And what I try to tell people each and every day No matter where I am, if it's at the grocery store or if I'm in a meeting, you have so much power within you, but you must put that power to use and you must acknowledge that you have it. You have the power, but are you suppressing it and not allowing yourself to use it?
Dr. Zanzi, so I'm gonna put us in, I'm gonna put a little steroid on our conversation
Okay.
today because I want to maximize the remaining of our time that we have together. But you don't know the family that I was born to.
Tell me all about
You don't know the social economic community
it.
that I was reared in.
Mhm.
So I don't have, what chance do I have?
I tell you what, I'll stop you there, Larry. It doesn't matter where you come from. You have a choice. You have a choice to choose and say, I'm not going to let my socioeconomic background, the culture that I come from, that the world may see or try to diagnose me as. You have the power within you to choose. God has given us free will, and we must use that free will for His great commission. And when we harness that power and walk in our own path, and what I mean by that is, Larry, your path is your path. My path is my path. I've got to leave my breadcrumbs and my footprints.
But your path looks so much attractive. It looks so much more attractive. Mine looks kind of sterile and institutionalized, but yours looks so glamorous.
Because that's your choice to choose to look that way. So let me give you a very good example. When you're driving, you use that windshield landscape as your view. If you continue or do every day to use that rear view mirror, guess what's going to happen? You're going to crash. You're not going to get anywhere. But if you use that windshield landscape, the opportunities are endless. I will tell you this. I was born and raised in the Delta. My grandparents.
As in the Mississippi Delta. Because we have viewers and listeners. We have a lot of truck drivers that listen to us on the terrestrial dial, but we also have viewers that as far as Michigan and Illinois and Los Angeles and Atlanta and several in the UK.
Yeah.
So when you say the Delta, I want to make sure that they reference the Mississippi Delta.
There's a difference.
Got
Mississippi Delta is truly a place of its own.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I would tell you this: my grandparents had resources, but they weren't at the socioeconomic level where I can say we had a lot of money. We definitely were poor. So if I can bridge myself from an environment of not really knowing that I was poor, but chose to want to be better, do better, and strive to do better. And what you have to do to actually grow and develop yourself, you've got to center yourself around those people that can help get you where you need to go.
You can handle this back and forth. But is it imminent because I was born in a depressed situation, in a depressed situation? Is it imminent that I'm not going to succeed? Whatever the definition of success is relative to who you are, I guess.
Absolutely not. You can be a privileged person and still hold yourself back. I have many colleagues, many friends who have the potential, but either they're bound by their environment of who they're hanging around, or they're bound by, I don't truly want to use my talent because I'm afraid of what people will say. So I want to say this: if we are not being who we want to be and what we desire to be, we are not being our best selves. We all have a purpose, and we all are multi-purposeful.
Every person has a purpose.
Every person has a purpose. I'm a firm believer in that. I don't care what your background is. You have a purpose. If your purpose is your struggle, and that struggle is a testimony, that is a purpose.
Wow. Say that again. That's powerful.
If your struggle is a struggle, it's still a purpose because it's a testimony.
Then are you suggesting that my struggle is actually molding me to become the better me?
Absolutely. If you choose to. Does that make sense, Larry?
It makes absolutely
You
sense.
have to choose. And again, our research tells us as leaders, and I use this motto a lot. In the past, it has taught us that we must lead by example, but we also need to motivate. I don't believe in that. Motivation comes from within. I can empower you to be motivated and to use your motivation, but you have to want your motivation to come out. So I have an issue when people say, I don't have, I came from. So did I. So did millions of others. Oprah Winfrey is a good example. She was turned down multiple times for jobs.
Dr.
Look at
Zanzi
her
McLaurin
now.
is a great example.
I thank you, and I truly believe that. I am a good example. But guess what? I didn't look at my past.
Review mirror.
I didn't use the rearview mirror. I only used the rearview mirror for caution.
That's good. Oh, that's
You
good.
only use that rearview mirror for caution and to look what was behind you so that you can move forward.
But for those that would say, you know what, Dr. Zanzi, I'm Dr. Z, I'm too old, I'm tired, I'm winded. It just seems like the more I try, the worse it gets. I just feel like giving up. I just feel like either, and I take this very seriously what I'm about to say. There are those that are watching me
Mhm.
that you've considered putting a gun to your head.
Mhm.
You're considered snorting it away, smoking it away,
Mm.
or doing something, making a permanent decision for something really temporary. But you're not watching or you're not listening to this program accidentally. It is on purpose. What would you say to those people that are at the 11:59 30-second hour?
Those remaining seconds, you have a choice. And Larry, there is power in the tongue. Remember, our tongue can be our best tool or it can be our worst enemy. You are what you speak. Every day, if you say, I can't, I'm not going to, it's not going to work out, you believe that. It's a mindset. The more you hear, the more you see, and in the environment that you're in.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
Because my follow-up would be, how important is it for you to be in a positive environment with positive people?
Okay. So I'll paint the picture this way. If you want to build a table, sometimes you have to leave that particular room because that room and the chairs around that table truly are not the ones that need to be in those seats with you. You need to build your own table. Step out. Do not allow fear to keep the shackles on your feet. Allow fear to push you. Allow fear to really give you that edge, that podium for you to step on and that platform to say, I may have come from this, but I know where I can go. Unleash your potential.
But then what about those folks who may think that I'm trying to be uppity?
What is uppity? Define uppity to me, Larry.
And they may more than I am, or someone.
But I am. My Father says I am. So I am what I can be. Every day, remember my 3 core affirmations. I am, I can, and I will. I am.
Share those. Look in that camera.
Yes.
Talk to those folks.
I am, I can.
Because some
and I
folks just
will.
get up and meander throughout the day.
Yes, you
They
wake
need to
up,
have purpose.
and you started off very well the beginning of the talk here, Larry. The devil is very coy. He's very sneaky. He knows our weaknesses. He knows what our fears are. And he's going to use them to keep us bound. God left such a beautiful helper here with us, the Holy Spirit. And that Holy Spirit speaks through us, but we must be in tune to listen. We can't allow the devil's voice to out-talk and out-rhythm our Father.
Out-talk and out-rhythm. I like that.
So when you allow the devil to out-talk and out-rhythm you, guess what's not? It's grumblings, it's noise, it's chatter. God speaks very boldly and clearly in bullets. Think about it. If you're going through something.
God speaks very boldly and in bullets.
Yes.
Now explain that.
He gives it to us in big, bold bullets. So what I mean by that is he's not going to write the chapter for you. That's our job. We've got to write the chapter.
And I've said many times that if God told us really all that our journey would hold, man, we wouldn't want to take the journey, you know, because you've got to go through in order to be molded into ultimately what God wants you
Absolutely.
to
Going
obtain.
through is the sweetness.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Dr. Zanzi on Defining Moments. Hey, I told told you that listen, one of my deacons years and years ago, he's read education. He said, I'm not going to apologize for that. He said, I may not be able to use good English, but you know what I'm talking about. He said, it's going to get gooder and gooder. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Dr. Zanzi. I mean, you're multi-talented. I've said that God has given each of us a talent and gift. He didn't give everybody everything, but he gave some of us a lot of things. And you're one of those persons because you're a promoter, you're an owner, you're a podcast host. You have an earned doctoral degree. You have a lot going on, but how did you move from this academic world into this world of coaching and positive motivation? I want you to talk about that when we come back into our segment.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Welcome back to Defining Moments. I'm your host, Larry Nix, with my friend, Dr. Zanzi McLaurin. So I asked the question for those that are streaming live, how did you move from this kind of academic, staunch, comprehensive world into this world of motivation, coaching, spirited, thoughtfulness? How did you move from there to here?
I didn't move. I was always in.
So in other words, some people think that you got to leave one
Absolutely not.
to do the other, but you can do them all at the same time.
Absolutely. It was always in me. My gifts and my talents that God has given me only got more refined as I actually got a little deeper in my career, got a little deeper in my community volunteerism. And what happens is the more that you interact and the more that you step to the forefront and begin to do some of those grassroots growings that I call them, you begin to really see I have passion for that. My skill set can truly fit that particular activity. So it was always in me. I just had to allow myself to be available to it.
And not be afraid to explore.
Absolutely.
Even if, because I have found that people don't explore their giftings because they're intimidated of what others may think of them.
Absolutely. I could look at you and say, oh my goodness, Larry is this phenomenal person with this outstanding background.
You're not teasing me.
No, I'm not teasing you. It's the truth. I let the truth flow out my tongue.
Thank you, appreciate it.
But you're welcome, Larry. What I'm saying is this: don't allow anyone to intimidate you. Learn from them. And that is what I did in my career. I have hung around the best of the best, the powerful of the powerful in my various institutions I've worked for and am working with. I allowed myself to not be intimidated, but to learn. And the more that you are open to learning, guess what happens, Larry? You start to pour into yourself and you start to really understand what is it I want to do with my purpose. Because guess what? You'll know what your purpose is. Because it becomes your passion.
Then in a couple of minutes, your husband, Tony, he is
wonderful husband.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
So Tony is helping me. He's kind of like my personal trainer and
Brother in Christ.
and my brother in Christ, which is most important.
Yes.
I've lost 9 pounds. All right, and he checks in every day. What are you
And
doing?
what time frame? Do share that.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, he
And it
said,
was a modification of what?
of my diet, of what I was eating, my lifestyle.
Of lifestyle.
Because you know what? I told Tony, I said, man, I've probably been on 15 diets,
Right.
But it wasn't working because I got tired of them. They were too strenuous. But I had to make up my mind that I wanted to live healthy.
So what's the first 3 words of diet?
DIE.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's powerful, right?
That is powerful.
So if you take the T off of diet, you are putting yourself in a particular regimen that is not a lifestyle. So use what you can to modify your lifestyle because it will be more attainable.
And I make that pivot because when I am around you, I am so motivated. You're not just concerned about the financial health of a person, but
the physical aspect as well.
But the physical aspect as well, the mental, the emotional. You're interested
Yes.
in the holisticness.
Yes, mind, body, spirit.
It
And when
is,
they connect, Larry,
yeah.
dynamic things can happen.
But now, so you share with me, my husband's a little calmer and is a little nicer than I am, and I'm like, well, I choose him as my trainer as opposed to you.
Well, and people that have hung out around me and athletes that I've trained, they know that Tony is the more calm and
But
attentive.
why? But why? But I take a look at you in poses, and I'm like, wow. And I take a look at your husband, I'm like, man, I don't want to meet him in the day, let alone at night.
Yes.
I mean, he's a gentle, incredible, kind person.
Amazing man. And a lot of that spears from his rearing with his mom and his sisters and his brothers. They were so intentional in his life and his career. He is a seasoned nurse, so he has that nurturing.
Emergency room kind of nurse.
Critical care.
Critical care.
He said he's amazing. And he just has that intuitiveness, that nurturing and caring from him. And I have it too, but I'm on a different level.
Yeah.
And we balance each other out. I'm more, let's go get it hard and get it done. But Tony's very intentional, and so am I, but it's at a more moderate level. So
Yeah.
you're with the right person
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Once you get to that stagnant stage, then
He's gonna turn me over to
He's
you.
gonna turn you over to me.
I'm like,
Because I don't
listen,
want you to be stagnant.
yeah, I'm like everybody. I have Dr. Zanzi with me today. I really don't want her here because I don't like her at all right now. But
Yes,
you can see the results of me working with her. I've
he
lost
looks
15
amazing.
more pounds and I'm toned.
Wait, that 9 pounds that you've lost,
Yeah.
Larry, I see it all on your face.
Do you really?
I do.
Thank you. Because
I
we've
do.
not seen one another in like 2 or
Do
3
we?
weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about the why. Let's talk about, because it's not as if you didn't have a lot to do,
Right.
you know, with your academic professional career, but now you're the newly minted executive producers and owners of MPC Mississippi. Talk about that.
Well, yes. So I just want to make a correction. We are the promoters.
Promoters,
for
thank you.
The
All right.
MPC Mississippi
Thank you.
Bodybuilding
Yeah,
Championships.
yeah.
And thank you so much for allowing us to talk about it. It's going to be an amazing, amazing show. It's the 41st annual event of it. It will be July 16th at the Mississippi Trade Mart. Oh, and you know they've done such great renovations.
Yeah.
The Trade Mart is going to be amazing. Men's prejudging is at 9 a.m. Women's final will be, and prejudging will be at 2. We want everybody to come out. And one of the most important parts about this event is we are the benefactor to the Jackson Leadership Foundation.
Which I know I know the president of that organization
I think I know the
and the
president.
vice president.
Yeah, 2 wonderful people, Larry Nix and Shirley Tucker.
Yeah.
My good friend Shirley Tucker, who I absolutely love. But you know, Larry, now just do the spill really quickly. The Jackson Leadership Foundation is a wonderful nonprofit Christian organization that pours back into the inner city communities of Jackson. And y'all are doing such amazing things. And our way to give back to you is to allow some of those proceeds to go back into the Jackson Leadership Foundation. So we want everybody to come out and really have a good time. We've got some wonderful sponsors, and I really want to share this. I have gotten such amazing support from the city of Jackson.
Good.
The city of Jackson Police, my friend James Davis.
Good friend of ours.
Chief
Yes.
of Police. He has just, I'm telling you, he is going to be around the clock with us that day.
Good.
Just supporting the event, having officers present, just to kind of ease some of the angst,
Right.
so to speak. So he's just doing a wonderful job in supporting us. But I also want to say this, we're doing a do-all event. And
What does
one
that
reason,
mean?
I'll tell you in just a second. The reason why we wanted to do this, because Tony and I are passionate for health and wellness and fitness.
That's where I want to get to.
Yes, our passion for health, wellness, and fitness. I would not feel good about myself just hosting this bodybuilding competition if I could not touch the other population of our community. So we are hosting our first annual Mississippi Soul to Soul 5K race. It's going to start at 7 a.m. at the Mississippi Trade Mart. And it will just take us through a beautiful scenic route through the downtown Jackson area and bring us back to the Trade Mart. And the purpose of this race, Larry, is to truly promote physical activity. So we want people to get up, come out, run, walk. We're also going to have a 1-mile superhero fun run where the kiddos can come and run in their costumes. And Larry, I think I forgot to tell you this. Some of our amazing bodybuilding athletes are going to come dressed up as the Hulk,
Wow.
as Wonder Woman, Supergirl.
Your husband could dress up like the Hulk.
Yeah, he could, but we've got some great ambassadors in the sport that are going to come and really just make it fun for the kiddos. And we've got some great sponsors for the race as well. One that I truly want to talk about is Pennington and Trim.
Yeah, good friend of
My
mine.
great
Ed
friend,
Trim.
Ed
He's been on this
Trim.
program a couple of times.
Yes, he's amazing. So his contribution to the race is he's going to provide hot dogs and hamburgers, chips, and all that good stuff. So he's going to get up super, super early
Yeah.
to do this for us. So we want everybody to know. And also just really think about getting up early, participating in the 5K race. And guess what, Larry? For those that register for the race, every registered runner and walker, they will get a free admission to one or the other of the men's show or the women's show.
Wow.
So come on out, join us, stay for the day. You can freshen up at the trademark. They have beautiful.
So there's
restrooms.
something to do for everybody.
Something to do for everyone.
And your objective, the impetus of you and your husband becoming promoters of this is to talk about the holisticness of being healthy, body, mind,
Yes.
and spirit. Is there a point that you get in life you say, I can't do this anymore? I can't, there's some folk who just wilting away.
Yes.
And that's so unfortunate. And thank God for doctors. I appreciate that. But you don't necessarily ascribe to a lot of supplement pills, do you?
Absolutely not. I believe in allowing the body to do what it's going to do, but you got to push it.
30 seconds.
You've got to push your body to move and work for you. You can sit there and be stagnant and say, oh, I'm not losing the weight, but what are you doing to lose it? Oh, I'm not feeling healthy, but what are you doing
20
to
seconds.
make yourself feel more healthy?
And my crutch was I was just a potato chip man. I'm a connoisseur of cheeses.
You were distracted by a target that wasn't serving you well.
Yeah, sodium. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I know that you're being blessed. You just hang in there. More my friend, Dr. Zanzi, on Defining Moments. So your husband said, Larry, you're addicted to sodium. You're addicted to salt, and you're holding that weight. Well, before he said, which I think was very smart, because some folk, are quacks, and they say, oh, you just need to run 10 miles a day. He sat down and he analyzed my challenges. You analyzed me. You analyzed my challenges, my lifestyle,
Yes.
what I could do, what I couldn't do, what I was doing, what I was doing. And you saying, okay, listen, you're addicted to sodium, and that sodium is holding that fluid in your body.
And people don't realize this. Your body is like a matrix. You know the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
It moves, navigates, and will target things. When you put your body into motion and understand it, you live with that body every day. You know when you have a body ache, you know when you have a headache. You are the engineer of your body, but you've got to make your body work for you. I know genetics plays a big factor in a lot of things with obesity, diabetes, heart disease. But I tell people this all the time. There's a way to combat it. So you've got to take the initiative to say, I want to change, I need to change, and I will change. And that's what you did, Larry. You listened to us so intently.
I did.
I mean, you were focused.
I did.
And the light bulb came on when you said, that is truly what I'm doing.
It's like you were fly on the wall. I'm like, how did you know?
Hmm?
How did you know?
The
pinpoint.
input. It was the input that we gave you, and you were the output.
And when I did exactly, I followed the specific instructions of you and Tony.
Yes.
When I did exactly, then the weight started coming off, and I started feeling better about myself.
Yeah, Tony said day 3, you were like, oh my gosh.
I
more
did.
energy.
I did. And now I'm wearing clothes that I haven't been able to get in like 2 months.
It's good, everyone.
And so
Just in 2 weeks.
well, it's because of you and Tony, and I'm putting in the work.
You are.
Now you're gonna sweat now.
Yes.
And I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning because I'm hitting the treadmill, because I know if I don't get it done, I'm so busy that I'm not gonna be able to get it done.
It's called momentum, and I do want to talk about that. It's momentum. You are in your momentum.
All right, stay tuned. Change is not going to occur instantaneously.
Absolutely not.
The best change happens over a period of time.
Yes.
And that's what's been happening. But you and Tony had to put me on a trajectory
correct.
in order for me to be successful. You knew You little sneaky self, you
Well,
knew.
I've been doing it for
I know,
over 25
but
years.
you knew that if I followed this regimen, then you knew that I would see results. And now that I'm at that point, now you're going to change it up. Because also, not only, you and Tony said, okay, run on the treadmill, speed 3, incline 10.
Mhm.
I'm like, this man is
You
torturing
did
me.
it.
You
It's
know,
called high intensity interval
I
training.
know. And
it
now
worked for you.
it did. And now I got a little carried away, and I told Tony I got a little arrogant with it, and I went up and I started. Now I'm doing 12.
But what you did,
I'm at
is
incline 12,
you progressively increased your output.
and I said I can do this.
Yes. So Larry, I'm going to flip the script. I know this is your show, but of course you know.
Yeah, but you know what?
So I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay,
When you started to see the change, how did you feel?
I felt rewarded. I felt
Mm.
empowered. I felt positive.
Yes.
I felt good about me.
Yes. And
I
bet
started-
you
and
had
I-
more energy.
I
right?
did, and I started walking by the mirror a couple of times,
Uh-huh.
looking in the mirror.
And flirting
know.
with your wife.
Yep.
You knew it was coming out, right?
I knew it was coming out. That's right. But I felt good.
Yes.
My mental
Mindset.
capacity,
Yes.
my mental mindset.
Yes. A
felt good.
shift. Because what happened was you saw the change. And the change occurred when you put forth what? Action.
Can you apply that to all other areas of life?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what your struggle is. We can't
I want
sit
you
up-
to talk to the
Okay.
people. I
It
feel them all up
doesn't-
in my
I know, I'm
face.
so sorry. I'm being so attentive to him, but it doesn't matter what your struggle is, what you're going through. If it's an addiction, if it's a divorce, if it's a troubled child, you have to harness
Mm,
your power
Mm.
and take charge of your life. Let me tell you why. When you take charge of your life, you see this? This pencil or this pen belongs to me. I am not going to give my pen or my pencil to Larry
wow.
to write my story.
Wow.
I want to write my cover of my book. I want to write my preface, and I want to write every chapter. Don't give anyone this pen.
Wait.
write your story.
I felt that because there's some people out there that they've allowed other people to
Yes.
dictate to them every step. Husbands to their wives, wives to their husbands,
And we don't
girlfriends
want
to
to
their
cause
girlfriends.
divorce, but you have to write your own story connected to the ones that you need to serve. Does that make sense, Larry? So if it's in the community, write that chapter of your book, but do not let someone else read what words and sentences you write in your life. You may be faced with a challenge. You may be feeling down. You may be feeling like you're defeated. But guess what? If you choose to stay defeated, you choose to stay stuck. There will not be any
If
action.
you choose to stay defeated, you choose to stay stuck.
You do.
If you're so, in other words, are you saying if you're stuck, it's because you choose to stay stuck?
It's choice. And I know people are saying, oh, she doesn't know my story. I don't need to know your story. I have my own stories. But guess what? When I see my story not going like I want it, I got to embrace
And it's okay to.
It's
change.
okay.
It's
to
called.
change.
It's okay to pivot.
You
Okay.
must pivot.
And you know what?
It's called flexibility.
It's called flexibility. Because some folks stay in such a posture for ever and ever and ever because they're embarrassed that it's not working. They're afraid to try what people may say, and they just stay in that posture and they're
May I say
miserable.
something about that?
Please do.
Don't worry about what people say. That is our problem. We are so stuck in a world of being judged, being put in a box. Don't allow anyone to put you in a box. Don't worry about what they say. Larry, if you're going to talk about me, you're going to do it. Am I right?
Anyway.
Either in my face or behind my back.
Anyway.
I can't control it. So what am I worried about?
I've talked about you and Tony a lot, very positively the last 3 weeks. But you're exactly right.
Absolutely.
You've had no idea of the things that I've said.
When
You can't
you
control it.
stay in an environment of choosing to be judged, which we're going to be anyway,
Wow. When you choose to stay in an environment,
of being judged,
That's very
You are
toxic, isn't
keeping-
it?
You are keeping the shackles on your own.
That's
feet.
very toxic.
Yes, you must remove yourself from the noise of the world, and the noise can be people.
And that can be hard.
It can,
But
can
but
be-
but it's necessary.
it can be hard, but you can do it. You just have to be bold. You see me stomping my feet.
You
You
sure
have
are.
to be bold, and you have to remove the fear. God did not instill fear in us. That's where the devil comes
You
in.
you keep making inference to the Word of God. How important is that in your journey and in should be in a person's journey?
If I could share, and I will do this because I do plan on writing a couple of books. God truly is our source. My Father is my Father. And when I listen so intently to Him, and when I discern His voice, the noise of the world does not bother me. The noise of the world does not stop me. I know my power. God has given me great, and grace.
Ha ha! Repeat that again.
God has given me great grit and grace.
Talk.
And when I use it for His great commission, it doesn't matter what the world says. And when we can truly hold on to that, our young women, our young men, when you know your power and you hang around the right people,
Wow.
oh my God, I can stress to you the dynamic things that can come from your life. Know that when you hear negativity, negativity will come from you. When you hear
Whoa.
positivity, positivity will flow out of you. But you've got to hold on to it and use it for the good of who you are and what God designed you to be. He has equipped you with such greatness, and He wants to see it come forward. But if you stay in an environment that's going to hold you down like a buoyancy, guess what? You're just going to wave back and forth. But when you remove the ropes and allow the ropes to guide you with a little leash here and there, guess what? You're gaining momentum in your life and you're creating your own pathways. Remember, you're going to have various journeys in your life, and you need to. And every journey is going to be different. And Larry, guess what?
What?
Not everyone can go on your journey with you.
I think that's the problem.
We're holding on.
We're holding on to people. And I've said we're trying to keep alive what God has pronounced dead.
It's so deep.
You
I mean,
know?
it's dead. It's turned to ashes.
And we're still trying to keep it alive.
Well, what you're doing with those
we're trying to
ashes-
resuscitate it.
Well, no, you're not trying to resuscitate it. You're just getting those ashes going, come back to life when there is no life in it. And remember that when you're trying to hold on to things that are rooted in no movement, no action, no progress, no greatness,
No greatness.
you're not going to gain it.
Reverting back to something you said earlier, you said emphatically, these words are absolute. You said there's greatness in each of us.
Such greatness.
And the enemy knows that.
Oh, absolutely. His job is to be crafty and to get you distracted, to say, I can't do this. Oh, I'm not good enough for that. Because he doesn't want you to be good enough for that. You know why? Because he knows that when you are and when you do find out who you are and what your power is, oh my goodness, it pushes him back 20 feet. And he wants to be right there in an inch.
You said something earlier. I said you are very good at a lot of things, and you responded by saying,
Yes, I am great at a lot of things, and I am good at a lot of things. But those things that I'm good at, I don't necessarily have to be at the table. I can whisper and put someone else
Wow.
at that table and whisper in their ear to make them great.
because if you're not careful, you can expend yourself.
Oh my God.
You can exhaust yourself.
It's
And
called you're diluting yourself. You're diluting the magnitude of who you are by spreading yourself too thin.
trying to be everything to
You
everybody.
can't be everything to everybody. Sometimes you just have to say, how you doing? I'll see you tomorrow.
And that's okay.
And that is, and be okay with that. How you doing? Everything going well? See you next
Because you
week.
know what I've said? I've said that you die and
Trying to please everybody.
trying to please them. They'll come to your funeral. Maybe after they go to the to go eat some chicken and whatever, then you'll
And won't
become
talk about you anymore.
and you'll become an afterthought in about a week.
No,
And
you
they'll
become
have
vapor.
somebody in your position next.
Yes. And I tell people this all the time, my faculty and my colleagues, we are in a position for a reason. We're there to do a service. As you and I do a lot of community volunteerism with our boards, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be on every board. We can place
That's good.
someone else on that board
That's good.
and speak knowledge into them to make them great.
That's good. When we come back, I want to talk about your podcast,
Yes.
Powerful Purpose, the Dr. Zanzi McLaurin podcast. Also want to talk about this competition coming out, back up, and the run. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. More of my friend, Dr. Zanzi McLaurin, on Defining Moments. So what you've just shared, is this what you share on your podcast, Powerful Purpose, the Dr. Zanzi McLaurin podcast? Is this what you share?
Absolutely. It's all about the shift of using your purpose to truly shine in life. Everyone has a light, and that light needs to be bright and get brighter and brighter and brighter. But you have to know when to use that light and not let someone dim it.
Powerful Purpose, the Dr. Zanzi McLaurin podcast. I also know, among many other things, as I introduced you, that you are a empowerment mindset and coach. What does that mean?
Basically, what that means is let's take it.
Got it.
Mindset.
Mhm.
What does that mean to you,
Mhm.
Larry? I want you to answer the question.
That means the condition of your mind, of your intellect, of your thought pattern, where you are.
Yes.
Your
And you-
your aptitude.
Yes, and you can have either a fixed or a growth mindset. And when your mindset is fixed, that means you have tunnel vision and you're staying stuck. When you have a growth mindset, that means that you are willing to be able to take constructive criticism and willing to not allow your failures to define you, but allow them to refine you.
That's good.
And when you have that growth mindset, that means that you are in a place where you know, I may need to pivot. And being a strategist means that I am the person to help figure all of that out. And being that coach, I'm gonna guide you through life.
Listen, I'll vouch for you because I'm 9 pounds lighter as a result of this is what you need to do. Now I'm a little reserved about when Tony hands me over to you, you know.
Get ready, because I've had football players and basketball players to just keep garbage cans by.
Oh, I think I got to be out of town that week. Tony turns me over to you.
I'll try my best to take it easy. I'll try my best to take it easy.
Coach.
And coach to me actually has such a diverse meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I can be your post to help stand you up or guide you in the right direction.
That's good.
A coach also is one to listen more than direct. A coach also provides not instruction, but direction.
How do you are such a positive person. How do you harness all of that as competitive as you are? You're very competitive. You are very competitive.
Know how competitive I am.
Listen, show this card again. Show this again. Show this poster again, Jacob. She used to be on one of these
Yes.
flyers.
Yes.
So how do you harness that calmness or that competitiveness?
My power that I have
Yeah.
and how I contain it and share my love and my gifts with
Yeah.
others is just as simple as that. I know my power and I know what I have to offer and I know what I want to offer.
Wow.
And I believe that when we can take what we have, our skill sets, our talents, our passions, and remember this, Larry, your passion tickles your purpose.
Right.
It ignites your purpose. And when you use that and harness it appropriately, you are comfortable with who you are. I am comfortable with who I am. I am not arrogant. I am not conceited, but I have confidence.
Wow.
I am confident in who I am and what I can do.
And that's not narcissism. That
It's
is you
not.
believing that, I heard someone say years ago, I was in Michigan, and someone said, if you don't stay focused and build your own dreams, someone will hire you to help build theirs.
And that's what we do every day. You have to realize this, whether you are an individual, a mom, a father, an aunt, if you are working for an institution, an organization, or you are an entrepreneur, you have a purpose within you to either make yourself be great, do great, and help someone else while you're helping yourself
Yeah,
do those things,
yeah,
to be great and do great.
A couple of questions. So number one, do you take on clients?
I absolutely do.
So if people would like to get in contact with Zanzi, Dr. Z, how can they get in
They can
contact
go
with
to
you?
my website, drzanzimclaurin.com,
Okay,
and fill
you're a
out
fast
the-
talker too.
Yes,
So slow down.
drzanzimclaurin.com.
Yeah, you don't sound like you're from the Delta, but I know.
right?
All right.
It's
So if
the
people,
culture I've got.
okay, gotcha. So if people would like to get in contact with you,
Yes, go to my website, drzanzimclaurin.com.
and spell Zanzi.
Yes, Zonzie.
Yeah,
McLaurin
because
is
I feel
an I-N.
I feel some people trying to write real
Okay,
fast.
yes, so it's Dr.
Okay.
Zonzie, Zonzie, McLaurin.com. And there's a contact form that they can fill out to reach me, and I respond to everything.
Okay.
So I would love to reach out to them, and I will respond back, but I would love to be that person to help them live their best life.
I want to give them a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Will you come back?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's make it a segment.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking
I'm
forward
looking
to it.
forward So, because I know that these are the things that you share in your podcast, Powerful Purpose, the Dr. Zanzi McLaurin podcast.
Yes.
Is that a weekly podcast?
I'm getting my momentum back with
Got
it.
it, got
will
it.
become a weekly podcast. It is now every 2 weeks.
Got
But
it.
I'm going to do better because I really know that God has a message
Yeah.
that He wants me to share.
What I've heard today, it needs to be shared. You, along with your husband, Tony, you're a host of the MPC Mississippi podcast.
Yes.
Talk about that.
The MPC Mississippi podcast, for Tony and I'm the chairperson for the state of Mississippi, and
Okay.
Tony is the vice chairperson. And we have that podcast to just talk about our upcoming shows, to bring on our special guests.
Let's talk about the show again.
Yes, it is the MPC Mississippi Bodybuilding Championships
Okay.
on July 16th at the Mississippi Trade Mart. 9 a.m. is the prejudging and finals for the men. 2 p.m. is prejudging and finals for the women. And we want everybody to come out and just be a spectator and just support and salute the athletes as they showcase their hard work. I mean, some people have been training for 6 months, yes, to get on stage and be prepared. So we are excited and want to serve those athletes, and we'd love for people to come out. And you can go to the website npcmississippi.com and find that event, and tickets are live now when you go on the website.
Let's talk about the fun run as well.
Yes, so we have also the Mississippi Soul to Soul 5K race that will be that morning right before the bodybuilding show. It will start at 7 a.m. and we'll have a 1 mile superhero fun run that will be in conjunction to the 5K race, but we want everybody to come out and participate in that. And everybody that purchases a ticket for the 5K race, we will give you 1 free admission to either or the men's or the women's show. So come on out, support the race. It's for a great cause. We'll be giving some of the proceeds to the Jackson Leadership Foundation. So
And we
look
shared
forward
that
to
in
your
that board
support.
meeting, and our board, they're ecstatic.
Love it.
They're really appreciative of that. Can you get to an age that you're too old to exercise?
Absolutely not.
Because some folk will say, I'm just too old, I can't do it. And I've
Absolutely not.
I've told people, if you don't do it, you're going to render yourself immobile.
Absolutely. And guess what? You can be 99 and work out if it's just doing chair exercises. Your body is meant to move. Your body is not.
You know what your husband told
What
me?
did
He
he say?
said, when you see older people
Yes.
kind of slumped over,
Yes.
it's because they have ceased to work their muscles.
They have ceased to work their muscles, and they have allowed their body to be in a framework that is not in alignment of who they are. So you have to be in alignment with who you are and what God has
Spiritually?
made. Yes.
I want you to take the last minute and a half that we have and just encourage. Give me your why.
Absolutely want to share with the listeners as today that you are designing things. God has equipped you with such intricate skills and talents that need to be seen, need to be heard. People need to find you. They need to hear you. Really dig deep today. And I want you to go in a quiet place and say, am I truly serving my purpose in life? That I have a passion for, that tickles my belly, that makes me smile, that really gives me that energy and that alertness that I need. Know that there is something for you to do. And when you really harness your power and live your life with your purpose, on purpose, watch amazing things happen.
I find, Dr. Z, that's where I find my greatest peace
Yes.
is when I know within myself intuitively that I'm where I'm supposed to be doing. I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. All other things are distractions from my pure purpose.
Absolutely. And when you're in that state and you're in that position, Larry, don't you feel the power within you that you're touching
I
so
do.
many lives?
I
So
do.
go out today and touch the lives that need to hear you, see you, and find you. You have a purpose.
You have a
I want you
purpose.
to write.
Don't let anybody take your pen. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
thank you for joining us on Defining Moments. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Dr. Zanzi McLaurin. Google her. We'll see you again.
Thank you, Larry.
Look at there.
That's it.
Yep.
All right.